Chewie, we're home. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is about a stormtrooper named Finn, played by John Boyega. After crash landing on the planet Jakku, he ends up meeting Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, and a droid named BB-8, and later on, they meet Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they are now basically trying to hunt down Luke Skywalker, since it's been so long since he has been seen. And there's a whole subplot going on with Kylo Ren, even though it's really hard to talk about his storyline without spoiling anything. Now, going into this movie, I had no idea what to really think until the trailers came out, and they really surprised me, and the fact that J.J. Abrams was directing this film got me even more excited, since he is one of my favorite directors, and it would be really interesting to see how he would be able to handle directing a Star Wars film. And while this movie wasn't perfect, I still thought it was absolutely fantastic. Daisy Ridley did a phenomenal job as Rey. She was beautiful, she was badass, and she was easily my favorite of the new characters that we got to know in this movie. John Boyega also did an excellent job as Finn. He had some really funny moments throughout the movie, and him and Rey had really great chemistry in this movie as well. Oscar Isaac plays Poe Dameron. While he wasn't in this movie a whole lot, the scenes that he was in, he did do a really good job, and he also had really great chemistry with Finn. BB-8 was the new droid. He was another one of my favorite characters in this movie, and he had some pretty funny moments here and there. Harrison Ford is back as Han Solo, and it was fantastic to see him back in this role again. I also really loved how his character brought a lot of humor and emotion to this movie. Carrie Fisher is also back as Princess, now General Leia. She's also a pretty big part in the story in the second half of the movie, but like I said earlier, it's hard to talk about it without giving anything away. C-3PO and R2-D2 were barely in this film, even though it was great to see them back again in the few scenes that they had. Mark Hamill is back as Luke Skywalker. That is all that I will say about his character, is that he is back, and that's another reason why it's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling anything. Adam Driver plays Kylo Ren. There were times where I found his character to be menacing, but other times not so much. J.J. Abrams did an excellent job directing this film, and he also directed Super 8, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, Mission Impossible 3, and the two latest Star Trek movies. The action scenes were really entertaining, and there were a lot of them in this movie, surprisingly. While there was a problem or two that I had with this movie, I might explain them in a potential spoiler review that I might make sometime. I still really loved this movie, and it's one of my favorites of the year. That's why I'm gonna have to give Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, an A.